Greetings all. This will be a slow flow and mindfulness practice for moments of high stress and anxiety. And I will start in the shape kneeling, or in yoga we might call this hero or virasana, but I'm going to support myself in a way that I can feel really comfortable in the knees, hips, and spine and find a long neutral back. So you can grab a rolled up blanket, you can grab a pillow or a couple of pillows. If you have props at home and you have yoga blocks, you can take yoga blocks under the hips. But tuning into the sensation, particularly at the knee joint, but also up through the rest of the legs, hips, and low back, and lifting yourself up enough that you can be settled and supported in this position without having tension or pain. And as you start to grab your props, settle into your props, I want you to begin to take a moment to notice the spaces where you're connected. So noticing where you're connected to your props, noticing where you're connected to your floor or your mat, and really thinking about letting go or quieting the rest of the thoughts and the rest of the sensations. Allowing yourself to fully feel maybe shins, other parts of the legs, tops of the feet. Do you need to shift anything, change your props to find more ease, more comfort. Taking a moment to move, to adjust, increase or decrease your height, and then beginning to settle into stillness, into this kneeling posture. Keeping that sense of gentle groundedness at the base, I want you to bring your awareness to the very center of the top of the head, and just imagine that that crown of the head is going to very gently start to draw up long toward the sky, creating this really gentle length, gentle expansion into the spine. And then also invite or allow just a little more softness into both shoulders, allowing those shoulders to both fully soften away from the ears. And because I'm practicing a little more with the thought of grounding and calming today, I'm going to turn my hands palm face down on my thighs. Always invitation to bring your hands face up if you're feeling like you need a little more energy or you want to feel more open to receive. And as I do that, as I allow my palms to rest down, I'm going to find a little place to look a few feet in front of me, or maybe fully close the eyes, and then begin to notice the sensation between the palms and the thighs, or maybe for you, it's the back of the hand and the thighs. And just as we did with the lower body, I'm really just fully allowing awareness to notice that sense of my hands resting at my thighs. And I'll invite you to bring your full attention or full awareness to the sense of your breath. No judgment, not changing anything yet, just bringing your mind's eye to the sense of air coming into the body and to the sense of air leaving the body. And as little thoughts or distractions start to come up, just invite that awareness back to the sense of air coming in, the sense of air going. The mind is really chattery or distracted in the moment, you could add a little label to the breath. So I like rising and falling. You could do inhale, exhale, or any other word or phrase that works for you. Each time I feel that air coming in, maybe I just think gently in the mind, rising. And as I feel the air go, I think falling. Gives that mind just a little bit of an anchor, just a little bit of something to hang on to. So be here for a moment, continuing to notice that inhale, notice that exhale. Gently bringing awareness back to the sound of my voice. Gently floating the eyes open. I'll invite you to bring your left hand to the low belly and your right hand to heart center. And we're going to come back to that sense of gentle observation of the breath without any judgments. Find that gentle placement for your hands. Allow the gaze to soften or the eyes to close. Notice if your experience of your breath changed. Notice if your shoulders are more engaged, and could you relax into the shoulders as you keep the hands where they are. Noticing your in-breath, noticing your out-breath. As distractions arise, bringing your mind's eye back. Breath coming in, breath going. Next, in-breath, see if you can make it a little fuller, inviting that air in a little more deeply. Next, out-breath, see if you can make it a little more slow. With each cycle, we'll expand a little into the inhale, slow a little into the exhale, making that exhale slightly longer than inhale. And the best things we can do to support heart rate variability. Slow, controlled breath, exhale, slightly longer than inhale. Gently letting go of breath control, floating the eyes open. We'll bring the palms together at heart center. Begin to slowly and intentionally rub the hands together, allowing one hand to really sense the surface of the other hand. Begin to pick up that pace, starting to create a little bit of friction, eventually hopefully creating a little bit of warmth. Bring those palms back to stillness at heart center. Notice the sense of the tissues of the hand. Notice any heat, tingling, other sensations. Gently bringing the hands back down to the thighs, palm face down. Starting a rubbing here at the thighs. Again, starting slow, intentional. Picking up the pace, creating a little friction, maybe building a little heat. Slowing into the hands, finding stillness, allowing the tissues of the hands to feel the thighs, the tissues of the thighs to feel the hands, any sensations that come up for you here. Curiosity and observation without judgments. Allowing the hands to flow along with you as you move into a gentle spinal flexion and extension. Big inhale here. As you inhale, imagine lengthening the spine, lengthening the crown of the head. Exhale, start to gently draw the belly in toward the spine. Let your shoulders round forward a little. Let your gaze come down toward your thighs. Inhale, rock yourself forward. Allow the sternum to lift, throat to lift, crown of the head to gently drop back. Exhale, round. Inhale, heart open. Stay here with this slow, controlled movement, tuning into the sense of flowing with your breath. Or still flowing with breath, picking up the pace a little. When, if it's comfortable, exaggerating the movement, rounding more fully, sliding the hands toward the knees, leaning forward, opening the heart, lift the gaze, hands draw back toward hip crease. Again, tuning into that rhythm with breath. Maybe close the eyes as you fully feel into that sense of exhale to round forward, inhale to open. Flowing once more, each direction. After that last one, finding your way back to neutral. Take a moment to just breathe here, neutral spine, noticing any sensations in spine, hips, hands, breath. we'll slide our way over to a child's pose. So I'm going to scoot my props out of the way. I'm going to, again, kind of check in with what's happening in my knees, hips, and spine today. And I may come all the way back, bringing my hips to my heels. I may keep my hips a little bit more elevated. I may bring my knees a little bit wide on my mat, or I may keep my hips quite elevated and think more about walking my arms out toward the top of my mat. So some version of a child's pose or a puppy pose where you can allow the palms to come face down on your mat, reaching out toward the top of your mat. We're going to allow the upper body to rest down as much as is possible. Another option here would be to grab a prop to support the head or to support the sternum as you relax down towards your surface. Taking a moment here just to tune back into the sense of your breath. So the sense of our breath may change as we're now prone, facing the earth, or maybe as we have a little bit of pressure of belly toward the thighs. So feeling into that breath, noticing that breath. And then bringing awareness back to the palms, feeling into that connection between the palms and your surface. Is there coolness? Is there warmth? Is there tingling? Is there a sense of a heartbeat? What do you notice? Taking one more easy breath here. And then we'll press our way up into a tabletop shape. If you widen the knees, bring the knees back in line with the hips, coming up onto the palms. And we'll move into a gentle, flowing child's pose with breath, thinking about making a bit of an elliptical shape on our mat. So again, depending on what's happening in your hips, knees, spine, or other areas of the body today, hips do not need to come all the way to heels. We're going to rock our hips over toward our left side. We're going to pull those hips back toward that heel. We're going to rock across a child's pose at the back of the mat. Let those hips come to the other side and lift back up through a tabletop. Letting those hips draw left, pull back, roll across at the bottom. Inhale, lift, tabletop. Exhale, lower, child's pose. Again, staying here, really nice, slow, controlled. One movement, one breath. Exhale back, inhale, lift. If your breath wants to move a little faster, maybe you pick up the pace. If your breath wants to move a little slower, maybe you slow down. Tuning into the sense of movement with breath, sensations in the spine, hands, legs, other areas. Next time you come up to the top, pause in that tabletop shape. Enjoy a full breath at your table. And then flowing the other direction, pulling those hips over toward your right side, reaching the hips toward the back of your mat. Roll across a child's pose at the bottom, lifting up on the opposite side. Exhaling back. Inhaling, lift. Noticing any differences between the two directions. Noticing any interesting sensations, anything happening in the body, breath, or thoughts. Perhaps closing the eyes as you allow yourself to be fully present with this movement. Flowing once more this direction, landing in that tabletop shape, taking a full inhale, exhale in your tabletop. Grab any props that you need to send yourself back again to kneeling hero. Allowing yourself to come back to that long neutral spine, inviting the hands palm face down for grounding, calming, centering, any other hand position or mudra that feels right for you in this moment. Tuning back into that sense of lengthening through the crown of the head, softening through the shoulders. Inviting awareness gently back to the sense of your breath entering, your breath leaving. Setting the gentle intention for yourself here that you can come back to this idea of breath as anchor at any point throughout your day. Any point when maybe things are feeling a little anxious, a little uncertain. You just need a moment to kind of bring yourself back to center. Coming back to this sense of allowing or inviting awareness to sit fully with the sense of air coming and air going. Always the option to add that labeling of the breath. Give the mind a little something to hang on to. Rising, falling. Allowing your eyes to gently float open, and I hope that you got some value out of that today. This would be a lovely practice to just do on its own at the beginning or end of your day. It would be a lovely practice to do at the very beginning or end of your yoga practice. Thank you.